Well, hello again. It is around 8:30 in the morning. It is really nice and cool here. Finally, we're getting some very cool mornings. The other night it dropped down to 59 degrees. Couldn't believe it. One day's heat index of 103, and then we're down to 59 at night. I mean, come on, it's crazy stuff. Anyway, it's good for us. The next two chores we have on our, I try to stay at least one or two ideas ahead about what needs to be done. You all know we're going to be dropping the gas tank in this video. Then we're going to pull the hubs. I want to see what the brakes look like. I assume they're probably in pretty good shape. The fellow that sold me the car, his wife used to drive it, and you already know we got, if you've been following along with the series, we have good disc brakes on the front, brand new, and the rotors are in good shape and all that. So he probably did the same thing with the rear. But the car sat for a long time. I want to check the brake cylinders to make sure that they're not leaking, that sort of thing. So the hubs have to come off. Plus they have to be derusted a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with that. But first comes the tank, and then we look inside and see what it looks like. And try to come up with a solution, or, to remove any rust that might be in there after it's washed out. Or make a decision as to whether or not we want to buy a repro tank, which I do not. They cost too much money. I'd rather use that money for something else. So right now, in order to get to that, more access to that tank, all this stuff, the car is still sitting on those jack stands. All this stuff here is going to have to be moved over to this side. So I have total access to the tank. So when I drop it, dropping it's a piece of cake. A couple of straps, and I think it's got a vent line on the other side, and boom, she's down. And of course, removing that filler pipe too. So we're talking an hour's job here, maybe, if I just stay with it. So let's get going. To get better access to those screws around the outside of that circle there where the tank is, those hex head bolts, screws, I had to remove the gas door, but that's no problem. The only thing I had to do was take out these two screws. Nothing to it, top and bottom. Just take the old nut driver, and off she came. Alright, everything's been moved on both sides. I also jacked it up a little bit higher and put it on, increase the height of the jack stands. I haven't taken the 4 bolts out of here yet, but they are loose. And I've got a big old Phillips here. See if this will work. I don't know. I may have to change Phillips screwdrivers. This one may be a little too big. I think it is. Yeah. I'll have to... Let me go get the right size. And then all I'm going to do next is just take out those 4 screws. And then we're going to make the old, and take out these screws here, of course, Then take the old strap wrench and try to break it loose. And then take the straps off the bottom, and, the tank, gasoline's pretty heavy, guys, in case you don't know that. I think every gallon weighs 2.5 pounds, something like that. So if you've got like 10 gallons in there, you've got 30 pounds of weight. Well, there's of course there's not any gas in this tank that I know of, but I don't want to take the chance, so I'm going to go ahead and put the jack under this bottom of it with a board on top or something, and kind of lower it down easy. There's no sense in taking any chances here. Don't need any sparks, you know what I'm saying? Alright, the screws are out there, and our plate is off of there, and if you look real close, you can see that the neck of this thing goes in. If I can get this light fixed the way I want it. Probably not. Come on, you sucker. There we go. Get it close enough anyway. If you look real close, up in there you can see the edge of the tank at the top up there, right in that area there. That's the pipe coming out of the gas tank. So, all I have to do now it's already loose. Yeah. So all I have to do is put the old strap wrench on there. But I'm going to give it a little help. I'm going to have another cup of coffee at the house since it's still early in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and spray this down in here a little bit, kind of help it. Maybe loosen it up there. And we'll see you after coffee break. Alright, break time is over. I've got the strap wrench on it, ready to go. Now all I want to do is break it loose from the tank, and you can see it only goes in about that far before it starts entering the tank. I'm not going to remove it yet, because if there's any residual gas in the bottom of the tank, I don't want the fumes coming out while I'm down there working and filling this area here with gas fumes. just not needed. I'll remove the filler pipe just before I'm ready to drop the tank. So that means I got to get the strap off of both ends of the tank on the bottom. Also, I don't know where the vent line comes in. It's supposed to come in over in this area here in the tank, but I haven't been able to find it. I can't see it from up underneath because it's up on top of the tank. So we'll be lowering it down with the jack nice and easy till I figure out where that line is. I think it's just a rubber hose. I'm not sure. Anyway, the last two things I have to concern myself with is sitting on top of the tank between the floorboard and the floor of the trunk, and the top of the tank is an insulated blanket. Also on the front side of the tank, between the front of the tank and the back part of the area right here where it slopes down where the back seat fits against it, there's also an insulated blanket there. So it's a blanket that comes up and comes over. I don't know if it's one piece, two pieces. I want to kind of try to preserve that. Chances are I won't. I'll have to go out and find some suitable substitute. I'm not going to pay $1 million for that. Remember, this is just we're not going to make this a show car, guys. This is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get it in drivable condition, safe drivable condition. And then, you know, from time to time, we'll put a little part on here, put a little part on there. I'm just not going to spend a fortune on it because I have plans of other things I'd like to do. Matter of fact, there's a possibility I might pick myself up a little 6-cylinder Chevy or something and work on it after this one. I don't know. Maybe get one of my grandsons over here. You know, there's a kid down the street. He's 13 years old. He's got this huge interest in old cars. He stops by and looks at the Thunderbird from time to time. He's saving up his money to buy an old car. That would be kind of neat to get that kid up here, check with his parents to find out whether or not they would allow him to come up. And he can sit here, you know, and work with me in the garage. And you know, maybe when I'm done, if he does a good enough job and he works real good at it, there's a possibility I could just like maybe sell him the car real cheap, you know, after we're done, you know, just for helping me get it done. You never know what's going to happen in the future. Anyway, that's later to come. I could put the second car over there. The whole idea of having a garage door on this side and a garage door on this side was so that I could pull in two cars and they wouldn't interfere with each other. So we would have two bays on opposite ends of the building. Of course, right now I'm just using it for my lawnmower and stuff. But that stuff can be moved. We'll see, okay? All right, let's see. Now that I've rambled on and wasted some of your time, let me go ahead. Remember, all I want to do is get this thing to rotate and crack it loose. Now, it's been soaking with that liquid wrench. Let's see. By the way, somebody asked me why I didn't use this wrench to take off that fuel filter on that fuel pump. There's not enough swing room in down there for this big long handle. It just was barely enough room for the strap wrench I did use. Okay, let's see. Come on, baby, just move a little bit. Well, she's trying to do something. I got a feeling I'm going to have to wind up getting up in this. I'm going to get up in this area here. I'll probably have to get up in the trunk and use both hands on this thing. I don't want to, but here we go. Let's get her straight. Yep. I'm going to have to get up in the trunk and use both hands on it. Alright, she's loose. Watch this, you can't hardly probably see it, but watch this mark right here. You can see it rotate. There we go. Now I've squirted more liquid wrench down in there. This thing is not going to be easy to get out. It rotates, but it doesn't want to pull out. So I'll be working at that diligently until I win the battle. Alright, you can see she's now finally coming out. Let me show you what it looks like from down underneath. Alright, there you can see how far we've got it out. Well, a little over ½ an inch. Anyway, she's going to come out real good now. And what do you say we just get her down? Now, before I completely loosen up those straps, I've got the tank supported by my jack, as you can see. I didn't jack the tank up. I just barely touched the tank with the wood. Just enough to keep the wood from falling out. The straps are off. Now what we've got to do is pull this filler tube, and then we can go ahead and lower lower the old jack down. Let's see if I can get this thing to pull out all the way. It'll take 2 hands. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, that does not look good, does it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, right now I've got to put the redneck gas cap in there because it is already putting quite a few fumes in the trunk. I can smell it all the way out here. Alright, we'll plug that up. Let's get this the rest of the way out. Looks like the O-ring stayed inside that tank neck. It was right around here, I think, somewhere in that area. Boy, I'll tell you what, that is... Look at that dirt on there. That's a bad sign. Well, we did it, and she looks in pretty darn good shape. I am kind of pleased with that, actually. I don't see any gas, anything leaking out of anything. It's got a little bit of liquid in the bottom, but I'd be willing to bet that's probably water from not having a gas cap all those years. And we're going to go ahead and remove that sending unit there. And this is that vent line I was looking for. No wonder I couldn't find it. It was way up on top of the tank. All it is just a little open line to let air in the tank. That's all it is. Alright, it's time to... Boy, I tell you what, we got enough mud wasp nests everywhere, don't we? Yes, we do. They're just everywhere. They loved my Thunderbird. They knew class when they saw it. By the way, that insulating blanket that they talked about in the owner's manual or the shop manual, that's it right there. It's just, you know what that is? It's just a big, thick piece of roofing felt is what it looks like. It's even got the lines down the center. It's just like, that's all it is, I think. Really thick roofing felt, one piece. I'll just leave that right where it's at. Well, as expected, there was about a half a quart of water down in that thing. God. Anyway, this has been damaged right here. Check that out, huh? I don't know. I don't know if I can straighten that out or not. The gasket on the inside is kind of torn up a little bit right there where that's at. So it may have been done when they tried to put it back in. This tank may have come out in the past. I don't know. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is for the next couple days, I'm just going to let it sit here and bake in the Arkansas sun. That thing will get really hot, and anything that's left in the bottom will evaporate out, and that'll be the end of it. So I think we'll go ahead and call it quits here. The next time we look at this, we'll take a look down inside and see exactly what's there. The next video, we're back to the jukebox. Until then, this is John.